Afternoon, everybody. You got Mike Ash here with the ABCs of Home Improvement. Today, we're going to have a special show. We've got Laborio Durario with me today. Why don't you say quick hello, Lee?
Hey, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to try and throw something a little different out there at you, listening out in the audience.
We're
going to get to know the show host today. We're going to sort of do a biography show today. And since Earl is out in the field doing some work, I'm presuming he will call in at some point. We'll fill in the blanks for Earl and what Earl's history is.
That should be interesting.
Okay?
In itself.
And since I know Earl since he was a little shaver, I have a lot of childhood stories that we could bring up today. So today, if you have a home improvement question, though, 651-1110, feel free to call in with it. But we are going to first, get you folks a little more acquainted with who the ABCs of home improvement hosts are, because sometimes we get emails that ask, what's your
guys
story?
really understand the business?
Where do you come from?
Know it?
So we're going to start off with Mike. I'm going to do the little interview, the little essay with Mike.
All right.
We're going to start off with Mike Ash, the origins of Mike Ash. Where did Mike Ash originate, Mike?
I came out of New York City. I grew up in the Bronx. I went through all the basic good schools in the Bronx, the public schools, the mid schools. Graduated from DeWitt Clinton High School. Those out there, yeah.
There you go.
DeWitt.
That's nice. Now wait a minute. We went pretty fast right through high school there, Mike.
High school was.
Let's back it up just a few steps there.
You want to go
folks,
back, huh?
The folks just want to know, what was the first car you drove, Mike, when you were behind?
I had a '67 four-door hardtop Chevy Impala.
That Impala, the big steal they call that. That was the biggest steal on the road.
My uncle got me involved. He lived up in Hopewell Junction, and the Muller Milk Company was in that area. And the head mechanic, boy, you're bringing back thoughts now. He was able to discuss with him that his nephew needed a car. So sure enough, this car we purchased for I think $1,000 in those days was the Impala, exactly, and it had all the maintenance he had done on the inside visor on the driver's side, which was pretty impressive. He wrote down everything he did to that car.
That was nice. That was the only car I think made that had 2 spare tires in that trunk. It was
that
colossal,
car was
right?
so big, it was amazing.
That was an amazing
It had
car.
a steering wheel that covered the width of your chest.
That was great. I remember those. I remember the 2 doors. We had a friend of mine, Jerry Howard. I'm going to throw this. He was out in Manhattan, Kansas.
Uh-huh.
He had a green mist-colored one with a green vinyl interior. 2-door. It was the fastback, and we called that the Green Mist. That was the Green Mist.
I had a gold 4-door, gold interior. I could sleep in the back seat full length. That's how big it was. It was amazing. It was the car that drove all the guys around, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, so speaking of driving the guys around, Mike, because you are known as the wheelman every once in a while.
Yeah,
in certain
I'm the
circles.
one that stays alive, that's it.
Where's your first road trip with that car?
Oh, I think Massachusetts for a cup of tea.
Not the tea party, just a cup of tea.
That's just the key.
Very nice.
Yeah, that car was a great car. I had it till 71. That car I met my wife with. We rode that car right through college, right through high school and stuff of that nature, too.
Yeah, those were the days, right?
They were
a couple of spark plugs and a PVC valve, and off you went to the
the best
filter.
thing I remember, putting $3-4 in the car and lasted all weekend.
Unbelievable, right? You did that and you had the spare tank in the back.
Yeah, there was plenty. There was another tank in the back. That was filled up on a weekly basis. Yeah. That was an air pressure situation that we just filled up, and we kept our tonics going at that point.
Very nice. So, Mike, let's talk about the times when you were sort of out there with your car and you were dating and you met your wife, Mike.
I met my wife.
The future Mrs. Ash.
Mrs. K. Ash, I met in high school. In the last year of my senior year, we were introduced by a good friend, and she was planning on going to Europe to see family.
Oh.
And so I met her, I guess I had senior prom. She was going at that point with a friend, and I was introduced to her, and sure enough, I invited her to a party. And I said, look, we went out the first time, and I said, look, I'll give you a call as soon as I have a party at the house. And she kept waiting and tried following me around till she ran into me more than I ran into her.
Oh, the tables turn. The game is afoot, Mike.
So we hung out from senior year till about 3 years or so, till I finished 4 years of college. And then I went out and I surprised her a month before our wedding with a 71 Pontiac Le Mans I was driving in those days.
Ah,
the old 400s, yeah.
Yeah, those were nice.
Two-door.
Those were fast.
Yeah, they were quick. Yeah, they really were. And then from there, I went to my first college. It was RCC, Rockland Community College. I think I was the first one from New York City in that school back in the 60s.
I think when I go there, I see there's a plaque there they have for you, Mike.
Yeah, it's right next to
nice.
the jail
the
building.
Performing Arts Center. over there. Very good.
And I met a few teachers prior to actual school and extra activities all the time.
Of course, man. Those what years were those, Mike, for the folks listening?
Oh, let's see. High school graduation was 67.
Right, 67. So
And I
these
went
are the
from
60s.
there till 69 to RCC.
Nice.
And then I made a big trip back to Manhattan. I graduated out of Baruch University.
Oh, very good.
I was a business major. I graduated with a number of different business majors, degrees at that point, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I took a BA.
Very nice. Very nice.
A BA in Baruch University was pretty interesting in those days.
I'm
and,
sure. You met a lot of
I
nice...
did day
Did you meet
school.
Abby Hoffman? Were you in the same circles as Abby?
Abby tried to sell me an elevator pass. Still trying to sell the elevator passes. That went on for a while. And then my last semester, I actually did at night school. I was getting married already. I was married at 21.
Oh, very nice, Mike.
I was just 21 years old, a blushing groom, and getting ready to get married.
Nice.
I actually had to take a full-time job at that point also.
I think most people, when they get married, have to do that, Mike.
I did about 8 jobs that first year, though. It just wasn't a steady thing.
Yeah,
It just kept learning, and interest was there. As soon as it stopped being interested, I tried something else.
Very nice.
And then I went into the housing business. I think my first group of cabinets I actually made were in the medical field.
Very nice. Where was your first job, Mike? Where did you have your first job that you did your first install of cabinetry?
Medical buildings. I worked out of Valley Cottage in Rockland County. We were doing offices. We were retrofitting
Nice.
dental offices and individual doctors in those days.
Very nice. That's a nice job. It sounds like a fun job.
It was great.
You know?
They were pretty consistent laminate work. They had that swinging door for the garbage pail, which I guess we put on every single job.
Yes.
Pretty much standardized. The only thing different between one doctor to another was how outrageous they wanted to go with colors.
Medical. So there must
Some
have been some
canary
good money
yellows.
involved there, Mike, with that project,
They kept
right?
the kids coming, I'll tell
Sure.
you that.
Kids. Oh, that's right. So you're married now and had a couple of these medical jobs and didn't learn your lesson. So now
Yeah.
kids are
And
coming.
kids came, right.
Okay.
I have my son, who's now in his 30s, who's a commercial insurance agent.
Yes. Very
I have
nice.
a daughter who's now home with her first child, about a month old, say hello to Ari.
Very nice, Mike. Yes.
Yeah. And then the wife stayed home for quite a while until they reached junior high school.
And the children's names, Stevie and,
Steve and Jamie. Yeah,
Yes.
Jamie lives nearby. She's in Harriman.
That's
And
right.
That's close by, so I can see my new grandson regularly.
That's right.
And my son's up in Cicero, which is about 7 miles north of Syracuse.
Nice. Very nice.
And he already has his first son, and his wife's pregnant with the second one.
Mike, so there you go. So you're looking at grandchildren all around now.
I have 2 grandsons right now.
Unbelievable.
Then after the medical, I went into residential. And then I started building that level up until I got to the point where I was renovating apartment houses.
I remember. That's right.
I was back in the Yonkers White Plains section
That's
in those
right.
days.
Multiple units.
Yeah,
Multiple
I was
units.
known to do nothing but multiples in those days. I wouldn't look at anything under 60 units.
The kids were very young then. You were definitely out there making the money, Mike.
I was trying to push in those days, yeah. Now I work with individuals. Well, I won't get that far.
No,
ahead.
let's not jump to the consulting phase of your life yet,
Right,
Mike.
you're right.
Let's take a break, and we're going to come back with a little more on Mike, and then I guess we'll turn it over to Earl, who's not here, and we'll give him about 2 minutes, okay? So give us a call, 651-1110, with any questions you
Give me a
have.
shout. I'll answer your questions.